Let's jump to the closing disclosure. And there's obviously the clear timeline that it needs to be provided by that 3-day period. But how early in the conversation can you provide it and ask for it to be signed?
You know, it's a good question. It's an interesting question, and I've heard a lot of people talking about, you know, possibly getting that closing disclosure out very early. The reality is, technically, there are no restrictions on how early in the process it can be provided. But the reality is, number one, you should not be giving that closing disclosure until you are confident that the amounts that you are putting in that closing disclosure are absolutely accurate, that they are accurate and they are correct. And number two, you have to remember that once you give that closing disclosure out, you cannot revise the loan estimate. So you can't revise that loan estimate after the closing disclosure has been provided. There's only one exception to that, and that is if the timing of a change that would cause you to issue a revised loan estimate, if it occurs less than 4 business days between the time of the revised change when it has to be disclosed and the consummation itself, then you can make that change in the closing disclosure. So that means for last-minute changes that would cause you to, in fact, give a new loan estimate, you have given the closing disclosure, you can, in fact, put that change in a new revised closing disclosure. But it's a very, very limited exception. So remember, the earlier you give that closing disclosure, you have locked yourself in to everything that is in that closing disclosure. And that's the issue that you have. That's what you have to balance out against this desire to just get it there very early so that you meet your closing on time.